Hey everybody, back with another video today. I've been working on getting the whiteboard done. I've got it up. It's not permanent, but I've got it up here, and some temporary lights set up. So let's go ahead and get on with the video. So I'm going to start in the HVAC with the HVAC videos, and I guess today what I want to do is just basically outline what it takes to be an HVAC installation technician or a service technician. And first and foremost, you have to be personable. You have to be able to deal with people. You are going to, more than likely, unless your family is in the HVAC industry, and or you start out right in the union, the majority of folks are going to start out working for a residential company. There's more residential out there, obviously, than there is commercial or industrial, for that matter. So the best place really for anybody to start is in the residential sector. It's going to get you in the door. You'll learn a lot there. So back to being personable, you have to be able to deal with people, and you have to be able to communicate well, and you got to be presentable. You can't show up with your shirt tail tucked out and all scruffy, hair not done, and stinking and ripped up clothes. You have to present yourself. I've always said that anybody can fix anything, but it takes a certain person to service the customer. So, I mean, you might have mechanical ability, and you can fix your brakes and your tires, and change your oil, and all of that, but you're dealing with a machine, and if you can't articulate with the customer, it goes hand in hand. You have to be able to deal with people. So that's first and foremost. The second thing, I guess, is you have to be able to work in the conditions that the job requires. Like, for example, crawl spaces. If you don't like spiders, you ain't gonna like this business. If you don't like getting dirty, you ain't gonna like it. So you're gonna have to crawl underneath houses. You're gonna have to crawl in basements, and you're gonna have to crawl around in attics. You're going to have to you're gonna experience extreme cold temperatures. If you're in the commercial or the industrial sector, a lot of them units are outside, and they don't break down when the temperature's nice. They break down when the temperature's extreme. Every single time. That's when, if you get a spike in temperature, ACs break down. If you get a major dip, and you're taxing all that equipment, and that's when it breaks. So you're going to have to be able to handle extreme heat and extreme cold. And as a matter of fact, just this week, I was in a facility that was literally 85 degrees indoors. And I went from that facility indoors, wearing long sleeve shirts, sweating my butt off, to an outdoor job where it was 20 degrees, all in one day. Maybe you get into refrigeration, and you're working in a walk-in freezer, where it's 10 degrees, 0, maybe a deep freezer, -10. And those temperatures are that temperature all year round, and you could be walking in there from something outdoors where it was 80 or 90 degrees in the summertime. So extreme temperature fluctuations. Boy, I'm making it sound really enticing, ain't I? Well, it's really not as bad as you think. So let's see what else to be an HVAC installation or a technician. I guess there's lots of different facets to this business. There's residential, like I'd already mentioned, residential heating and cooling. A lot of times, heating and cooling goes along with plumbing and electrical. So sometimes you'll find one company that does all three trades. And then again, you work in that refrigeration. So HVAC is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, but you also have an R, which is refrigeration. And if you're in the residential sector, you can find yourself working on furnaces, air conditioners, window shakers, maybe refrigerators. A lot of times they'll work in stupid things like dishwashers and garbage disposal. If you're into the, get into that plumbing repair as well, things like that. And if you're in the commercial the sector of this, you're going to find the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning along with the refrigeration, but you're going to be dealing with like walk-in, reach-in coolers, walk-in coolers, reach-in and walk-in freezers. You're going to deal with things like ice machines. Let's see what else. Ventilation. You could maybe you're going to have a makeup air unit. We'll get into all these different types of equipment and try to show you some examples of these things as well. But, let's see here. I'm going to just start naming off some stuff you might be able to get a chance to work on. So you got furnaces, air conditioners, which would be split systems. You could have a gas pack unit, which is an RTU or a rooftop unit. Those are going to be a package heating and cooling unit. Heat pumps. You could get into heat pumps, which is basically a refrigeration air conditioning with a reversing valve, so it pumps the refrigerant backwards, and also has electric strip heat, so you could have electric heat. You get into water heaters, gas, standard atmospheric vent, electric water heaters, on-demand water heaters, propane. Oh boy, we're talking different types of fuels. Back to furnaces, you can have propane, natural gas, fuel oil. If you go the right direction, you could get into solar and you could get into solid fuels like wood and things of that sort. Let's see what else here. Makeup air units, ventilation, where let's say in a commercial building you got exhaust fans and they're either exhausting off of a kitchen hood or maybe they're exhausting bathrooms. Well, when a building is exhausting all that air, you have to make up that air to replace what's been taken out of the building. So there's direct fired makeup air units and there's indirect fired makeup air units. And there's, sometimes you get into working on kitchen equipment. Movie theater, got worked on some popcorn poppers, and let's see what else. Ice machines I already mentioned. Industrial. You got steam boilers. You got hydronic boilers. There's so many things that you get to work on when you're in the HVAC industry. Sky's the limit, man. You can go in all sorts of different directions. Not to mention the pipe fitting. Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union. You could be a sprinkler fitter, a boiler maker. You could end up making and installing piping systems, and like I said, that's where you kind of cross over in the plumbers and the pipe fitters, HVAC, and cross training, and you can just go almost any direction. And I'll try to cover as much of this as I can, or if you have any questions, by all means, please shoot me a text or an email or a message on the bottom of this video down below. So what I'll do is, if I get some questions on what you guys want me to talk about, I'll obviously cover those things first. But sorry, this is just kind of a blabbing video. This will be one of the first videos, or the first video of this series that strictly deals with the HVAC&R type stuff. And You know, we're also going to cover electrical, which I already did a short series of 8 videos on home electrical things. And we covered, you know, breaker panels and some lighting circuits and whatever, you know, receptacles and switches and fuse panels and breakers and all of that stuff. So if you want, you know, check some of my other videos, look for the playlist, and you can check out some of the videos. And where I left off on that series was, I think, video number 8. We got into the heating and cooling, or the HVAC, and your thermostat and how it was wired and things of that sort. We'll get into some more of that when we're getting into this series. Let's see here. Sorry to pause here. I just want to think. I don't have an outline of things I want to talk about or cover, so I'm just shooting from the hip. Oh, you know what? The tools that it takes to do this job. I'm going to go over every specialized tool there is, and I'll just basically probably bring in my toolbox. I'll dump it out, and we'll take each piece individually, and I'll tell you what it is. I'll show you how to use it, and again, this series is going to cover tips and tricks, and I'm not going to teach textbook stuff. If you want the textbook stuff, and probably a lot of you guys are already in some sort of technical program, and you're going to get all that background information. What I'm going to give you here in this lecture, in this series, is going to be practical application. I'm going to cut through all that crap, and I'm going to give you what you really need to know when you're out in the field. That's what you guys are after. That's what you need to know. But you need to know the fundamentals also, because that's probably you're not going to get what I'm going to teach you in your class if you're in a class, or you're not going to get what I'm going to show you out of a book. But the stuff you learn in the book, I'm going to make it so you can understand it a lot better. So I hope that my audience in this series is going to be a lot of I'm going to call them newbies, a lot of green people that are going to that need to absorb this information, and I'm going to give you a lot of shortcuts, like I said, practical application from years of experience. So hopefully you won't have to go through what I did to learn in this field. Yeah, so I guess we'll wrap it up there, and I will start another video. I'm going to pump out as many of these videos as I can, and I don't know how they're going to come out. There is going to be no rhyme or reason. There's going to be no order, except for I think I'm going to try to start in the simple and residential area. So I forecast that a lot of you guys are going to be new at this, and I don't want to overwhelm you with things that you won't even understand. So stick with me. Watch these videos in progression. Take notes. By all means, please comment down below. It's the only way I'm going to know what you need to know or want to know. And we'll get, if I don't cover it in any of these videos, make that comment and I'll get to you as soon as I possibly can with another video. Like I said before in my other videos, I want to make a video response for every question, or maybe I'll couple some of them together and cover that question in detail and try to get as much information out there as I possibly can to you. Alright, well, that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and make a comment. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks a lot.